There is a distinct difference between decision made by the mind and a choice recognized by the soul. Most of us were taught to make decisions through effort. We have been conditioned to believe that the more we think, the safer we are. We weigh the options, create lists of pros and cons, and we seek external validation, asking friends, mentors, even strangers for their perspective. We try to think our way to the right future, but the mind, by its very nature, is a processor of the past and can only offer you what it is cataloged based on its functions of memory and logic, and more often than not, just survival. Alignment, however, is felt in the now. It doesn't require a list of reasons. It requires resonance, a vertical recognition that bypasses the horizontal noise of the world. Now we're looking at how to return to your natural authority. We are going to look at how clarity is not something you find, but something that you truly allow. When you are faced with a choice, whether it's a career move or a relationship shift or simply a daily decision, notice the energy behind the thought. A mental decision often feels tight. It feels like a should. I should take this job because the salary is higher. I should stay in this situation because it's what people will expect of me. Now, notice how those thoughts feel in physical form. There is a subtle contraction, a narrowing of the breath, and a weight in the solar plexus. This is the nervous system operating from a place of perceived lack or the need to secure a future. Now, contrast that with an aligned decision. An aligned choice feels like release. It feels like your body has already said yes, and your mind is simply catching up to the reality of the movement. It's a quiet, of course. It doesn't always come with a map. It doesn't come with a 10-step plan, but it comes with a profound sense of knowing. And you are no longer leaning into the future to see if it's safe. You're standing in the present and realizing that the path has already risen to meet your feet. We often treat the body as a vehicle for the mind, but the truth is that the body is an amazing antenna for consciousness. Your nervous system knows the truth of the situation long before your logic can articulate it. When you are out of alignment, your body sends signals. We call it stress or anxiety or stuckness, but these are simply indicators that you're trying to force a square peg of thought into the round hole of truth. Consider a time when you ignored your intuition. You had the data and you had the logic, and everything on paper looked perfect. Yet there was a hollowness in your chest, a subtle no that you pushed down because you couldn't justify it to your mind. How did that end? Usually with the realization that the hollowness was the only data point that actually mattered. When we speak of a high consciousness, we're speaking of moving with the grain of your own design. When you honor the body's clarity, you stop fighting the current of your own life. Decisions simplify, opportunities align, and the need to convince yourself totally disappears. This is how we collapse timelines. The mind loves to play the game of what if. What if I choose wrong? What if I miss out? This is the language of time. It assumes that it can be behind or lost, but from the perspective of pure consciousness, you are always at the center of your own creation. When you make an aligned decision, you collapse time completely. You skip years of wandering down hallways that don't belong to you. You stop trying to manifest things that your ego wants, but your soul has already outgrown. True power is quiet. It doesn't need to shout to be heard. It doesn't need to hurry to get there because it knows that what is for you cannot be held away once you align with the version of yourself who already has it. If you feel stuck today, I invite you to stop thinking about the problem. Drop the how, drop the when, and instead ask in this moment what feels like the most honest expression of who I am. The answer's not always a thought. A lot of times it's a feeling of expansion. Follow that expansion. We are not practicing a technique. We are recognizing a reality, and you do not need to learn how to be intuitive. You were born as intuition. You simply need to stop giving so much authority to the noise. Start small. Practice with the tiny things, the little decisions, what to eat, which way to walk, what email to answer first. Don't think, feel the pull instead. Notice the difference between the push of the ego and the pull of the soul. The push is frantic, the pull is inevitable. As you begin to trust this somatic knowing, your life will begin to reorganize effortlessly and with total precision. You will find yourself in the right rooms with the right people saying the right words, not because you planned them, but because you were available for them. Take a nice cleansing breath and feel the ground beneath you. That same stability, the same unwavering support of the earth is available in every choice you make. You are not a passenger. You are the awareness through which the world unfolds. When you align with that awareness, the decisions make themselves. You already know. You have always known. Remember, consciousness is the only reality. I intend this created clarity to live fully and freely with gratitude. I'll see you soon.